you for joining us for another Trailblazer podcast. Today with me is Dwyer. She is a scaffolder from the United Brotherhood of Carpenters and Joiners, Local 1325 in Edmonton. She is originally from Newfoundland. Welcome, Dawn. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Jill.
If you wouldn't mind, just let everybody know a little bit about you.
Well, I'm a 43-year-old single mom of a beautiful daughter, Madison. She's 18. I've lived in Alberta for almost 21 years now, actually. And I joined the union in 2005, and I've been loving it and enjoying all the opportunities ever since.
That's fabulous. Yeah, no, that's really great. How long have you been in your trade?
For 16 years, actually. It'll be 16 years in July.
So you were already a mom when you started your trade?
I was. I actually did some nursing. I was an LPN before I started scaffolding, and it just wasn't for me anymore. Just really disheartening and really hard, like on the head and the body, and just was really difficult mentally. And I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And I talked to my dad, and I said I just really don't know what to do. But I would still like to obviously make the same income, if not better. And so he just kind of said to me, "You've always been a tomboy, so just you're not afraid of heights, and so why don't you try scaffolding and see what you think." So he brought me down and he signed me up, and I did my ITT course, and it's just been awesome ever since.
Wow, that's really, really great. Have you always lived in Edmonton then and worked in that area?
Yes, I've always lived in Edmonton. I've always worked in the Edmonton area, but I have gone up to Fort McMurray, as many people across the province have, and out of province as well. I've had great experiences up there, met a lot of people. It can truly teach you a lot working in Fort Mac, like working in -53 Ambium. Gives you a lot of things to be grateful for sometimes. So yeah, I really enjoyed working up there. It taught me a lot of good lessons.
Yes, exactly. It was an experience, right? It's something to put in your book when you write it, if you ever write a book.
Right. It's definitely a different lifestyle living in the camps and just not being away from your family, and the sacrifices we make are really great, but the rewards are better.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
true. So is your dad in the trades then?
My dad is in the trades. I'm actually third generation union, and I'm really proud to say that. My grandfather and his brothers were union members, and he in turn got my dad into the union after the fishery failed in Newfoundland. And as well, I have cousins, brothers, uncles. Just when I say my last name, they're, "Oh, do you know so and so? And do you know so and so? Are you related to this person?" So yeah, it's great. It's nice. It's like it's this family thing now, I guess.
Yeah, no, I can relate to that as well. My dad has been in my union. He just got his 25-year certificate a few years ago. Yeah, yeah, no, it's awesome to kind of have family in the trade, especially when it's one of your parents, right?
Yeah, because there's like an understanding. There's someone you can go to and talk to when you're having difficulties or questions, or if you're unsure of something and you just want to be like, get the hardcore truth, but the love that goes behind it. It's a lot different when you have family members in your trade.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, my first question for you is, how did you get started in the trades? You've kind of already said that, but where did you go when you decided to get into scaffolding? Did you go immediately to the union hall, or how did you go about it?
I did immediately go to the union hall. I just find that the building trades and the unions have a lot more to offer when it comes to taking care of their members, and pensions and health and welfare is amazing. The opportunities that I've gotten from going to like the building trades conventions and stuff like that has just been amazing. And it's I couldn't imagine not working union, to be honest. It's like it's a family thing. So kind of go with tradition in our family. And I just think it's union. I just couldn't imagine working anything else but union. And I know a lot of people sometimes don't have other choices. Like right now, work is really tight and stuff, but most people I know try to work union if they can.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a good way to go. I mean, of course, I can vouch for that too. I've been with UA Local 496. I first joined in the 90s, so yeah, no, I totally hear you there. So how far have you explored your trade?
I've explored it in like all kinds of different ways. I can't even begin to tell you how many different ways, from being the volunteering and being on this committee to being a delegate and getting involved in my hall. I'm on the trials committee and as well as the trades and bylaws committee and the Sisters in the Brotherhood. And even my daughter has actually volunteered for like family picnics and like family Christmas parties and stuff like that. I just want to teach her to give back to something that gives so much to our community and to people, because the unions really do. Like, we donate to the food bank lots of times. The letters that we get at the union meetings, like when we actually had, we could still have them. Just supporting local charities and local groups and sports clubs and stuff like that. I just think it's amazing, and I just there's just so many avenues to explore, like going to Vegas and going to my international hall and just seeing all the opportunities and the things that, they strive to make you better. And it makes you want to explore more and to see how far you can actually go. Like, my goal for myself is actually to become a dispatcher in our union hall. And so you can really take it a lot of different ways. And there's so many different avenues to go. Like, I just can't even, I can go on forever actually about all the different opportunities that you can have, like going to the BTA conventions in Jasper, where we have everybody from Alberta, all the building trades come, and then you have like just guests from all across Canada and the industry, and the information that you learn, it's endless. The opportunities are endless and the avenues are endless, and it's just a lot of great things to do, like, and especially being involved in us both being women. I think it's important for a lot of women to know that it's not a man's world anymore. Like, we're coming up hard and heavy, and we have a lot of amazing tradeswomen out there, yourself included, obviously. Like the Trailblazers Inc, I think, is amazing. So just so many just so many avenues and so much support, and just you meet so many amazing people that do so much for one another. It's just awesome.
Yeah, no, it is. And thank you for that. I actually have heard about your Carpenter Hall in Las Vegas. I went there. I was told if I had a spare day to make a special point of going to your hall, and I didn't have time. But I know others that have gone, and they just say that it's just like state of the art, place, and you've got everything going on there. It's just a pretty fabulous location. Like, it's brand new, isn't it? A couple years old or something?
Yeah, it's only a few years old. It's probably one of the coolest places I've ever been, and the coolest buildings. Like, the roof actually like opens up like the Sky Dome does in Toronto. It's actually really cool to be able to do different aspects of scaffolding and stuff down there. And they have like even underwater welding, not just like our trades, but they show like underwater welding, and they actually have a huge tank we can go in and build the scaffold. And if somebody wants to explore welding and go in and do all those things, it's really amazing actually. Just how much you can actually challenge yourself as a scaffolder. And like, I like it that they bring other trades into it as well. Obviously carpentry is going to be in there, and they have like floor laying, shoring. Like, it's amazing. I can't believe like how amazing that hall is in Las Vegas. I can't wait to go back again whenever the borders open.
Yeah, exactly. And if anybody watching this is interested in looking for it, I'm sure they can find it online, right?
Yeah, no, it's actually, I can't remember the actual physical address, but they even had a street renamed Carpenters Way for that. Yeah. There's a lot of union work in Vegas, and most of the hotels, like the new Raiders stadium, that was all union built. And so it's something definitely to be proud of, that's for sure.
Definitely. And you and I are both on the Build Together committee. That's how we met. So the Build Together is the Women of the Building Trades of Alberta. So I'm not sure how long you have been a member. Probably over a year now. I think I'm only about 2.5 years myself.
Yeah, I think we're about a year and a half. I think the first meeting we had was in January, so it's close to a year and a half now I've been on the committee.
Yeah. So uh, how do you feel about being on the committee? I think it's like fabulous, right? It's good to be a part, especially the women of the unionized building trades, right? I mean, it's awesome.
It is. It's awesome, and it shows a lot of diversity and creativity among like the women in the trades. And like our meeting that we had with Lyle, and just like the support and the things I talked about with you, like it's truly like we are sisters, like, blood and non-blood. Like, it just makes you feel like you're a part of something. And the support and just the sharing of stories and diversity and things that we learn from each other it's priceless, it's invaluable. And just to have that is just, it's pretty amazing. And the first time I seen Build Together was in 2016, and I was blown away, and I was really, really glad to be able to become a part of it, that's for sure. I think
Yeah,
it takes a lot of true leaders and true followers, people that can be humble and be kind and appreciate one another. And it's a lot of hard work that goes into everything that nobody will ever see, but it's definitely recognized.
exactly. There's a lot of behind the scenes things. Yeah, for sure. So, my next question for you is, what is your favorite aspect of your trade?
My favorite aspect of my trade is the challenge I get every day when I go, like wondering, like, when you go, I mean, because we work from anywhere from ground level to like the highest I've worked, I think is 263 feet in the Cokers up at Suncor Baseland. But it's just the challenge of pushing yourself further to learning new things. And to every day I actually learn something new. Like I really do. You never think you're going to, but then someone shows you some little trick that makes it easier. And whether it's body mechanics or just plain learning like more different ways to do things, like from because obviously guys build differently and stuff like that. But it's just every day it's a challenge just to know that, like, can I build this? Can I get in here? Can I do this? And the men are actually from when I first started till now, it's a 180 for most, but for some it's still, it's hard because you challenge yourself to be accepted every day by these men, and can you do everything a man can? And I know I can't do everything a man can sometimes, but when I need the help, I always ask for it, and that can be a little challenging because your pride gets in the way as well. But the weather is challenging as well. Especially, yourself just working outside and in rain, snow, and so many other like aspects, and whether it's steam or it could be really hot when you're working in a building. Like I worked in a building 2 weeks ago and it was plus 40 in there the whole time. Then you go out and the weather wasn't so warm. So the challenges are in every aspect of your life that you never think that it would, like, actually affect you, but it does, from the weather to those that are around you and who's below you. And it's just it can be scary sometimes, so you have to challenge yourself to be confident enough in your skills and what you can do, and be able to execute your plan and be able to get it done properly and safely.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So next question is, what obstacles have you overcome along the way?
um I know you already know this, but one big obstacle that I came over was like there's a lot of harassment on site, and there's a lot of things that happen with women. So my biggest obstacle was overcoming being a victim of sexual harassment on the job, actually. And that was really hard for me because I literally was, when I went to, I did, like, I didn't do anything at first. I wasn't going to do anything because I wasn't sure what to do. And it was on an LOA job. So I went, I talked to my friend that was working with me. And so we decided to tell the foreman, and we did. And then we told the guy that was running the job, and it just kind of got swept under the rug. And the only thing I asked was, I don't want to work with this person anymore, but that didn't happen. So we went to another site, and it was still ongoing. Like, he just was still around me, and I just was really uncomfortable, and I didn't want that. So I actually spoke to some brothers that I had worked with prior, and they knew they knew I was a hard worker, and they knew me for a long time. We'd go out have drinks or go out for dinner and stuff like that, or play pool or play hockey. And they knew something was off. So I finally told them. And when I did tell them, we actually went to, like, supervision at the other site. And it was really hard. It was kind of being a victim. I felt like I was, like I was the person that did something wrong. Like I felt like that I was, like, the guy that, for the person that did the harassment. I was actually blackballed off a site, and it took me a long time to get over that. I was supposed to be name tired for that site again, and then I had the safety lady call me and say, well, don't quit your job, you can't come here. And I had no idea why. And I found out that I was blackballed. And for anybody who doesn't know what that means, it basically means your name is there, do not hire this person, even though I'd done nothing wrong. It took about 3 years, and I finally went to court, and the person finally admitted their guilt. And I went to the Western manager for that company, which was Safeway, and went to my union hall. And thanks to Brandy Thorne, actually, she's amazing. She used to be a sister in our hall, and she was the person that helped give me the courage to know that I can overcome this, that this I will get past this, and everything shall pass. But it's out there, and it's a really huge obstacle for women. And I wasn't going to talk about it, but I really thought I should have, to be honest.
No, I'm glad that you are. Uh, I want the podcast to be honest, right? So I'm sorry that that
Yeah,
happened to you. It's unfortunate, but it does on occasion happen, right? And it's too bad that it
yeah,
got that far. I think, um, I don't know when that happened. I don't know. Yeah, I'd like to think that, you know, it's getting better, but I'm not 100% sure that it is. I know things still happen. I wish
hmm,
that we could nip it in the bud a lot sooner, but so you don't have to go through 3 years of that and go to court and all of that. But I think it's women like us that are standing up and fighting for everyone's rights, and groups like Build Together and all the wonderful things. I mean, all the committees that you belong to that are fighting to make these things a thing of the past.
yeah.
In this day and age, we shouldn't be dealing with any of this stuff. We
No,
really
we
should.
really shouldn't. We really shouldn't. And you know what? I'll even I'll go to say, because I know it does happen to men on work sites too, but you don't really hear about it as much, I think, because the whole like the male pride thing and stuff like that. I think a lot of guys actually may go through it too. I've met a couple guys that have felt like they've been harassed on site too. So, and being with the Build Together, we're all about diversity, and I think it's important to just talk about that too for them, like for the males and that actually do go through some of this, and it might seem silly, but they really do. But it is important that there's groups um like ours around, and like you doing these podcasts. I think is like actually amazing because it sheds more light. And yeah, it is still happening. And why is this still happening? And why aren't why aren't the companies, the contractors doing it, like really handling it in a professional manner, like from HR to safety? Like, why is it being talked about? Why isn't it just being nipped in the bud? Like you said, it really needs to be a thing of the past, like something that's dead and gone. But unfortunately, we're still working to get there, and hopefully it won't be too much longer and we'll have met our goals.
Exactly, exactly. And it is good to point out that it is kind of, I mean, it's happening to men as well. I've been on a few sites over the past like 25 years. Thankfully, it's only been a couple of sites where I've seen harassment due to their ethnic background. So it's a
Yeah,
guy to guy, and it's not acceptable. And more now, we're not okay with it, and we're going to stick up for each other, and we're going to say that crap needs to stop, and it needs to
yeah,
stop now, or you really should not be on the site anymore. And I know that it's happened where they have been removed. The person instigating, the person doing the wrong is removed from site, instead of somebody, the victim, being, further victimized by being moved to another location, which has,
yeah,
that's happened a lot in the past, right? It's
yeah,
not their fault. It's get rid of the bad one, the mouthy one, right?
yeah,
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So, next question is, did you have other women to look up to for support while you're on your journey?
Um, Not at the beginning, no, because there was really like, I mean, when I actually started scaffolding, like the most of the women that I like where I was around were the laborers, the ladies cleaning the lunchroom. So it was kind of different. But a couple of years went by, and I met I met some other women, Ronnie Olette, Judy Lucas, there's a lady we call Smiley in our union, and she's like utterly amazing. I got to meet Brandy Thorne, and just a lot of women that I could look up to. And just Brandy was our first female vice president and our executive for our hall, and it was awesome. And she's the one who helped me with just called and talked to me and asked me what was going on when everything was going on with the sexual harassment that had happened to me. So it was I did. I had a lot of as the years went by and I met them, I had a lot of strong women to look up to, women that gave you confidence, like women that were truly trailblazers in their time. And I still think Brandy is. I have a lot of admiration for her and everything she's done for our hall and women in my trade, and just she's been everything from a foreman to a GF to a close confidant, and just nothing but a great friend and a great sister. And I'm really happy to say that I have those women to look up to. Our dispatcher in our hall right now, she's actually a woman as well, and I work with her son at work, and she's someone else who I look up to, just very confident. She walks around like, just, knowing that she's got this, and it's nice to see that because it inspires you. And I wish more women were like that, like in the trades, and in like just to walk around, know, yeah, I got this. And it's not about being arrogant or being cocky. It's about, yeah, okay, I know I can do this, and I have confidence in myself.
Yeah.
And it's been really great to have those women around me. So, but over the last 5 years, I've met so many amazing women. I don't have enough body parts to name them all off, or even to count how many I know. Like yourself, and like Angela and Chantel and Alana and Roxy, like all the ladies in Build Together are amazing and truly trailblazers in their own right.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think more and more of us are coming out of the woodwork and sharing our stories, and that's why it was so important for me to start this business and this podcast, because I think people that are a little bit reluctant, that want to join the trades, whether they're male or female, but mostly the female, because that's the underrepresented groups in the trades for us. It's
Hmm.
really important for them to hear our stories, and it's not so easy for them to hear it. So for me to put a podcast out and have it, anybody can access it anywhere in the world, really. I think it's really important. And I think all the committees that are starting, like Build Together, I mean, Build Together's been around for a long time, but any committee that you can start that brings women in, and then you draw like strength from each other. You can ask all these, tough questions. And another group is the Alberta Women in Trades Facebook page, which
Oh
is,
yeah, that's right.
and it's 1,300 plus members right now. And you ask a question out of, anybody that's a member there, and you get 1,300 answers. Like
Yeah.
they'll ask, like, hey, where do you get your work pants? I haven't found any that are comfortable. And like 1,300 women up to 1,300 can answer. So Dawn, what does a day in the life of Dawn look like?
A day in the life of Dawn starts around 5 o'clock. I don't start work till we start work at 7:30, but I just like to get up and just kind of stretch and everything, because it's really important in my line of work. It's extremely physically demanding. But a day in the life, yeah, it starts at like 5 and probably doesn't end till around 8:30 or 9. Being a single mom is really hard, but my daughter's really great and helps out and does things like chores around the house or cook supper, stuff like that. But yeah, we just get up, we go, we brass in, we take a bus to site from the parking lot, and we go in and we get all of our coveralls and everything on. You had to be dressed and ready for work. And scaffolding. Yeah, scaffolding. It could be from anywhere in a big orange rubber suit and the alkylation unit, and the alky we call it. And that's never fun, because when it's summer and it's plus 30 and you're in a rubber suit, you're sweating your butt off from the moment you start walking with all your tool belts and your harness and everything on. And it's kind of teaches you to be grateful for things, though. But it's really physically demanding. It's you learn a lot. You challenge yourself a lot.
It's very physically demanding. I totally understand that. When you were talking earlier about being a nurse and wanting to do something that was less demanding, and you got into scaffolding, I thought, oh my goodness, what were you doing as a nurse? Because I know I've worked on many job sites and worked with the scaffolders, or I need a scaffold modification or something like that. And you guys are climbing and going and hammering, and it's just like you guys are like unstoppable. I don't know where you find the energy, but yes, it is very physically demanding. Do you have any advice for others who may be looking to join the trades?
For anybody that's looking to join the trades, I think you should do a lot of research into really what it is that you're going to be doing. Watching podcasts like this, and build together information. Like there's Women Building Futures. There's lots of videos and stuff out now. Speak to a member, speak to a union member, and really do a lot of research, and make sure you're passionate about it. You have to be passionate, because if you don't really love what you do, and I love what I do, It's not easy, like we said. Your job's not easy either. Like all the climbing from anywhere, from like ground level to up to 200 feet. We usually have elevators for that, or you're lifted in a man basket by a crane. It's really crazy, and it's really challenging, but it's also very rewarding. And I just think that, be passionate. Passion goes a long ways in the trades, and be true to yourself. If you're not true to yourself and you're just doing it because you feel like you want to, like you want to do what your dad did or your mom did, or what Uncle Gary did, or it's a family thing, that's fine for it to be a family thing, but really love it, really find it in your heart to know that this is for you, and that you can do a lot of things with it, not just be a scaffolder or not just be a fitter or a welder. There's so much you can give back to your community and to yourself, as well as other women, other different cultures, especially. Just really be passionate.
Yeah, it's funny that you would say that, because I've been reading a lot, and it's kind of like a reminder. It seems to keep popping up on social media pages. If you enjoy what you do, you'll never work a day in your life, because
Exactly.
you'll be happy. You'll be happy, and I've said on other podcasts too, when you're happy with what you do for a living, that that has a ripple effect on your whole life. If you're happy with how your day went, and we all have bad days, no matter what we do for a living, no matter where you are. But if you're happy with what you do, you bring that home, right? And you're just generally a happier person, and you're a happier, mom, or partner, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You're even nicer to the people at the grocery store. Like, it just goes on and on, right? If you have a bad day, everybody's entitled to that, but you do have to truly be happy in what you do. And yeah, it's a physically demanding thing, so you got to take some time to look after yourself as well, right? So the
Yeah.
final remarks are yours. If there's anything else you would like to share, now's the time.
I really, really like what you said about being happy. Be happy in everything you do. Be passionate about what you do. Um, be patient, be kind, be a good teacher. Know that you were in that person's shoes one day before. You didn't know what, say, a ledger was in a scaffold world, or you didn't know, like, cause say you go and get a 7-foot brace, for example, and someone brings back something that's not what it's supposed to be. It's because things are different. Not everything's as it seems. And I think it's important to be a good teacher and to be kind and to pass on knowledge that's been given to you. A lot of people really think that everybody that's in the oil field or in the trades, we're I don't know, rough around the edges, and we can be, but we're pretty amazing people that are really happy to teach people. And I think it's important that you take everything you learn at work every day. You learn something new. I know I do, and I think it's important to take those things away and to pass it on to others, and to be a good tradesperson or tradeswoman or man or whatever you may be, and just give back give back to what you've been given, and the opportunities that laid before you, and for someone to help you get there.
Absolutely. That's really good to point out. Thank you. Now, something else too, I was hoping that we'd be able to talk about is being a single mom while working in the trade.
Oh
It
my
definitely has some challenges, and I talk about it a lot. I've done some childcare podcasts. So if you want me to add you to the list of being involved in those, and those I haven't published yet,
that would
um,
be awesome.
those are basically for information, and see if maybe we can create change with the podcasts, using the podcast as the information, as the story. It's always different when people can see the people who are telling their story and their challenges.
Yeah.
So what kind of challenges did you find in being a single mom in the trade? I already
um
know several.
yeah, it's hard. Like my daughter's father passed away when she was 6 years old, so it was hard. Like when I the first time I went to Fort McMurray, like my daughter stayed with my mom. She was retired, and I was fortunate that she could stay with her. But I remember coming home the first time after being away for 24 days. I cried so hard, like I woke her up, because I was so happy to see her. So and I'm not going to say it's different for women, because it's not. It really isn't. Like, because I know dads that go away, and the same thing. Like, the first time I went to Fort McMurray in 2009, It was really hard. Like I found myself almost like, holding back the tears at work. And is she going to be mad at me? Is Madison's my daughter's name? Is she going to be mad at me? Is she going to accept this? Is she going to start thinking like my mom is raising her instead of me? Or, just so many things. It's really, really challenging. And and when you're in the city, it's just crazy because you have so many things to do, and you don't even have time for yourself sometimes. So it's hard because you start to lose a part of yourself, and you kind of end up living for work and for your child, and you don't live for yourself. And it's really important to live for yourself and to have time for yourself. And I know a lot of people say it, but it's true, and that's why they say it. Me time is important. And it's a hard balance, and you really challenge yourself as to what you can do, how late you can stay up because you have to get up so early, and all the things you try and fit in there, like ballet on the weekends. And okay, I have to say no to working this weekend, then it looks bad because you have priorities. And I've always said this, I love my job, and I do, and I'm happy, but nothing comes before my family, and nothing ever will. And I'm really happy and proud to say that. And I've left work on a drop of a dime because my daughters needed me, and I'd do it all over again. It wouldn't change anything. It's taught me how tough we really can be as single moms. And I never thought that I would say this, but I can really do everything for the most part that a man can do, and balance my life and be a good parent and be a good friend and be a good mother. And because she's my friend and she's my daughter, so it's it's crazy. It's a win world. Some days are just like a big win world, but when you
Yeah.
sit back and you look at everything you have and all the great rewards that yourself and your child has gotten from it, then it makes it all worth it at the end of the day. But it's definitely challenging.
It definitely is. And I think our hard work and our kids seeing our hard work gives them a good work ethic. They get to see how hard we work, and because we're supporting them and we're doing what's best for them. But we do have to take some time for ourselves. We really do, and it's hard to do. I know my son's 17, so I'm not that far behind you. We have to force ourselves to take time for ourselves. I know that's really hard to do. We don't always do that. I force myself every once in a while when I'm feeling really tired, and I haven't done anything nice for myself in a while. I force myself to, have a hot bath and then put on a movie or whatever that might involve a little vino. I just say, you know what? I am not going to take phone calls. I'm not going to spend the evening on my phone or on the computer. I have a dog now. I just recently adopted a dog, so I definitely get out and go for a walk with him, which is good for me too.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have a me night, and I have to do that, and it's really recharging. Yeah, it usually involves like, fast food, ordering pizza instead of making supper, and you have to do that because we're going to burn out if we don't, and then we're not good for anybody. We're not good for ourselves or our family or for our employers.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
So yeah, self-care is really, really huge. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Any final remarks before we say good night?
Um, Always believe in yourself and know that as hard as you work, the benefits and the rewards are even better.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. Thanks for doing a podcast with me. It's I haven't seen you in
Thanks
a
for
long time
asking me.
because of COVID,
Yeah.
right?
I
So
know, it was so nice to see each other, like on all these videos and stuff. Thank you so much for having me. I so appreciate it.
it was a pleasure to have you and to hear your story. So thank you so much for sharing it. Um, yeah, it's great to get your story out there. You've been in the trade for a long time. You've been doing a lot of amazing things, and you're a true trailblazer yourself. So it's a pleasure to have you
Aw,
on the podcast. Thank you
thank
so
you,
much.
Jill.
I'm gonna turn the podcast off, but stick around. I just want to talk to you for a minute afterwards. Okay?
For sure.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.